today?
We can hear and see you guys.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I guess it's still morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. If I can get appearances by defense and state.
Rachel Roney for the state of Florida.
Kelly Gwynn for the state?
Michael Bell for the Office of the Public Defender. Your Honor, did you want to know the Spanish speakers first?
No, we'll take them at the end.
Are just the names of the individuals?
I've got them. I have Christian Dipino Bahia, Francisco Lopez Matia, and Yoselin Samayoa Arroyo.
We have a few more people. We have Miguel Lopez,
Okay.
Damaris Maldonado,
Okay.
Paulo Maximilo actually speaks Portuguese, but he does understand some Spanish. Luis Medina.
Okay.
Kelis Ruiz Cisnero,
Okay.
and Giovanni Maldonado Robles. He's a reset
Okay.
or added charges.
Okay. All right, I can pull them out as we go. All right, then as we go, I'm gonna pull those out of my stack and we'll set them to the side and we'll take all those Spanish speakers at the end.
So that's the Damaris? Your Honor, Damaris Maldonado speaks English.
We have, ya lo llamamos.
Okay, so first up, we've got Timothy Alexander.
He's approaching.
Mr. Alexander, do you want to have the public defender appointed for you to represent yourself, or do you plan to hire an attorney?
Public defender, please, sir.
Okay, I'll provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you. You have been charged with a misdemeanor battery. The court does find probable cause. It looks like this is an incident of domestic violence. Is the state seeking pretrial detention?
A situation in domestic violence state doesn't have an offer or.
I'm just wondering if the state intends to file a motion for pretrial detention since it does qualify as a dangerous crime.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Then the state will, if the state chooses to file a motion for pretrial detention, it'll have 72 hours to file that motion. Once it's filed, then it'll be set for a pretrial detention hearing within 5 days. But are there any exigent circumstances that would require the defendant to remain in custody without bond pending the state filing that motion?
Your Honor, what is the case number that we're looking at right now?
I don't have a case number.
What is the last name?
Alexander.
Thank you.
It's a misdemeanor battery, but it looks like it involves domestic violence. Yes.
Situation.
Okay, all right, so I told him, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
State, any exigent circumstances that would require the court to hold him without bond pending the filing of the motion?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Bonds may set in the amount of $1,000. The state chooses to file a motion for pretrial detention. It's got 72 hours to do so. Special conditions of bond will include no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene of the offense, but the court will allow a one-time return with law enforcement to collect any personal belongings, and the defendant's not to consume any alcohol.
Have a seat.
Okay. Next, I have Eric Anderson. Mr. Anderson, good morning. Do you want the public defender to hire a private counsel or to represent yourself, sir?
I hired private counsel.
Okay. Then you'll, well, go ahead and handle your initial appearance this morning. But you're charged with driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. The court does find probable cause for that charge, sets bond in the amount of $1,000, with special conditions that you're not to consume any alcoholic beverages and you're not to drive without a valid driver's license. All right, sir. You can have a seat. Next, I have Mark Baker.
On approach, Your Honor.
Mr. Baker, do you want the public defender to hire an attorney or to represent yourself?
Public defender, please.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender provisionally to represent you. You'll have to fill out an application for their services, but sir, probable cause has already been found by the issuance of a warrant for the sale or manufacture of methamphetamine. Bond on that charge is set in the amount of $7,500. Second count you arrested on is manufacturing and delivering drug paraphernalia. Probable cause has been found and bond is set in the amount of $1,000 for a total of $8,500. Special conditions of bond that you're not to possess, consume, or otherwise ingest any illegal narcotics without a valid prescription. All right, thanks, sir. You can have a seat. Next, I have an out-of-county warrant for Jemriah Bartholomew.
She's approaching.
Ms. Bartholomew, good morning. You were picked up on an out-of-county warrant from Broward County. The judge in that case set bond in the amount of $20,000. Bond's going to remain set at $20,000, and Brevard County is going to arrange for your transport. Okay? Thank you, ma'am. Next, I have Mr. Michael Beck.
He's coming from the back, Your Honor.
Morning, Mr. Beck. Do you want the public defender's office to hire an attorney on your own or to represent yourself?
The public defender's office.
All right, I'll provisionally appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Probable cause has already been found by the issuance of a warrant for charges on possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Bond on count one is set at $2,500. And on count two at $1,000 for a total of $3,500. Special condition bond would be you're not to possess or consume any illegal narcotics or prescription medication without a valid prescription. Okay, thanks, sir.
Your Honor.
Yes.
For Mr. Beck, there was a question. Originally it was 1,500 on count two.
Yeah, it's set at 1,000. I lowered it.
Okay, thank you.
Next, I have Curtis Bianchi.
He has two cases.
Yeah. Mr. Bianchi, good morning. Do you want the public defender? Do you want to hire an attorney or do you want to represent yourself? Mr. Bianchi, can you hear me?
I would like a public defender.
Okay. Then I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You were arrested on charges for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause for those charges. On count one, sets bond the amount of $1,000. And on count two, sets bond the amount of $1,000 for a total of $3,500. Oh, sorry, so it's $2,500 on possession of methamphetamine and $1,000 on the drug paraphernalia. Well, and then on the second case, Mr. Bianchi, you were charged with driving while license suspended. Bond is set at $500 on that one. Okay, sir? Thank you. You can have a seat, sir. Next, I have Jacqueline Brown.
Oh,
Good morning, Ms. Brown. Do you want the public defender or to hire an attorney or to represent yourself?
public defender.
All right. Then I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You were picked up on two different things. One was a VOP warrant issued by Judge Wilson. On that one, she has set you at 0 bond, so remain at 0 bond.
Can you tell me what the violation was? Does it say
On the,
why it violated?
yep, it alleges that you failed to pay your cost of supervision, owed $720 as of April 17th, 2025. And that you used intoxicants to excess as shown by a urinalysis positive for a cocaine metabolite on or about. The sample was obtained February 19th, 2025 and confirmed by Abbott Laboratories on March 2nd, 2025.
Repeat what you just said? I'm sorry.
It's based on your failure to pay cost of supervision
Yes.
and a positive urinalysis.
Yes, well, I was going to.
Hold on. And then
Go ahead.
those look like the only two. But you have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and I've appointed the public defender to represent you. If you have any questions, you should ask your attorney, because anything you say can and will be used against you. But on the VOP, bond is set at $0. It's going to remain set. On your second case, you're charged with possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause for those charges. Possession of cocaine, bond is set in the amount of $2,500. And on possession of drug paraphernalia, bond is set at $1,000.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Can I speak with him? No, not now.
I'm gonna post something.
Next, I have Mr. Kenneth Collins. Mr. Collins, good morning. Do you want the public defender's office to hire an attorney or to represent yourself?
Public defender.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. But you were arrested on charges for no motor vehicle registration, driving while license suspended, and no valid driver's license. The court does find probable cause for those charges. For the no motor vehicle registration, bond is set at $250. The driving while license suspended, bond is set in the amount of $500. And for the no valid driver's license, bond is set at $250. With special conditions that you're not to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Next, I have Miss Carla Kelly.
She's approaching.
Miss Kelly, good morning.
Good morning.
Ma'am, do you want the public defender's office to hire an attorney or to represent yourself?
Public defender.
All right, now I'll appoint the public defender provisionally to represent you, but you were charged with driving while license suspended as a habitual traffic offender, and the court does find probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $2,500 with special conditions that you're not to operate a motor vehicle without a valid license.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next, I have Jaylon Kearney. Mr. Kearney, good morning. You were arrested on 2 warrants for failures to appear issued by Judge John Savage in Osceola County. She set bond on each of those warrants at $2,000 each. It will remain set at $2,000. Thanks, sir. You can have a seat.
Your Honor, will you provisionally appoint in the public defender in that case?
Yes, I will provisionally appoint the PD, even though I think that he already has PD in the other case,
Okay, thank
in
you.
that case. All right. It's Spanish. I shouldn't say, yeah. It's- Miguel Lopez. And then Lopez Maria. Oh, okay. Next I've got Damaris Maldonado.
She's approaching, Your Honor.
And you said that she does speak English?
She does.
Okay.
You don't have to rush.
Ms. Lopez, morning, ma'am. Maldonado, I'm sorry. Ms. Maldonado, do you want the public defender's office to represent you, or to hire your own attorney, or to represent yourself?
Public defense.
Okay, then I'll provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you.
Your Honor, this is an Orange County.
Sorry, it's an Orange County warrant. Never mind. So the warrant was issued out of Orange County. The bond was set at $500. It's going to remain at $500 along with the special conditions on the warrant. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim or any co-defendants or witnesses. You're not to return to the scene of the offense. You're also to keep your attorney and the clerk of court advised of your current address and phone number.
So if I bond out today, what could I leave?
Yeah, I mean, your bond's set at $500.
Okay, thank you.
If you don't bond out, then Orange County will arrange for your transport.
No, I'm done. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
I'm gone.
Next, let's see. Paul Maximiliano, Spanish. Next, I've got Samuel McDowell.
Reset.
Your Honor, Mr. McDowell needs to be reset. He had some medical issue.
Okay. So we reset him for tomorrow then.
Thank you.
Then I've got Robert Mendenhall. Mr. Mendenhall, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
A probable cause was found for your arrest based on the warrant that was issued for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Bond on the possession of methamphetamine charge is set at $2,500, and on the drug paraphernalia charge it's set at $1,000, with special conditions that you're not to possess or consume any illegal narcotics or prescription medication without a valid prescription. Do you intend to hire the public defender or to represent yourself or to hire an attorney?
I was going to hire the public defender's office. I was part of a raid. A house was raided.
No.
Okay, I'm going to provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you then.
Is there any way my bond could be lowered to $2,000?
No, bond is set based on the warrant at $2,500 and $1,000.
That's $3,500.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks, sir. You can have a seat. Next is Sabrina Onshore.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Do you want the public defender, or do you want to hire an attorney, or you represent yourself?
Public defender.
Okay, now I'll provisionally appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Probable cause has already been found for the charges for possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. Bond on those charges is set at $2,500 and $1,000 respectively, with special conditions that you're not to possess or consume any prescription medication or illegal narcotics without a valid prescription.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Mr. Alberto Perez. Mr. Perez, good morning. Do you want the public defender? Do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Public defender, please.
Okay, then I'll provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You were arrested for a charge of driving while license suspended, and the court does find probable cause. Bond on that charge is set in the amount of $500, with special conditions that you're not to drive without a valid license.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
You have a seat. Next is Jesus Perez. Mr. Perez, good morning. Do you want the public defender? Do you want to represent yourself, or do you want to hire an attorney?
Hire attorney.
Okay. Then I'll give you an opportunity to hire your own attorney. In count one, a warrant was issued for these charges. A probable cause has been found, but first, you're charged with attempted first-degree murder. On that count, you'll be held no bond and be set for a mandatory pretrial detention hearing on Tuesday, was it April the 29th at 8:15 with Judge Wilson in courtroom 5F. To the charge for shooting at, within, or into a vehicle, it does not qualify for mandatory pretrial detention or as a dangerous crime. So bond on that case, or on that charge, is set in the amount of $25,000. And on the last charge, discharging a firearm in public, bond is set in the amount of $1,000. Special conditions are that you're not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You're also not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. All right. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
Perez.
Next, I have Jose Puig Martinez.
He speaks Spanish, Your Honor.
Okay, then I'll set that to the side and we'll call him at the end. What about Isaiah Reed?
He is present. Your Honor, I have PC arguments.
I think I can save you the trouble.
Did you want to provisionally appoint the public defender for a shutdown?
That's what I'm going to ask him. But Mr. Reed, do you want the public defender? Do you want to hire an attorney? Or do you want to represent yourself?
The public defender.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You were arrested on charges of exposure of sexual organs, but I do not find probable cause based on the information that I was provided. So we're going to have a 24-hour reset. The probable cause affidavit references a conclusory statement of probable cause made by Officer Martinez, who did not author the probable cause affidavit attached to the initial appearance paperwork. So we'll reset that for 24 hours for the state to provide probable cause. All right. Thanks, sir. You can have a seat. Next, I have Scott Michael Rolfe. Mr. Rolfe, good morning. Do you want the public defender? Do you want to represent yourself, or do you want to hire an attorney?
Public defender, sir.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You do have two cases. The first case, you're charged with attaching a tag to a vehicle to which it was not assigned and driving while license suspended. On both of those charges, the court does find probable cause, and on each charge sets bond in the amount of $500, with special conditions that you're not to drive without a valid registration or valid driver's license. In your second case, you were charged with petty theft, which the court also finds probable cause for. Bond is set at $500 in that case as well. with special conditions that you're not having any contact with the alleged victim.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. Next, I have Jeremiah Silva.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Silva. You were picked up and arrested on a warrant for failure to appear issued by Judge Dorn on April 16th. She set bond in the amount of $5,000. It will remain set at $5,000.
Your Honor, he was previously represented by a public defender. Are we still appointed?
Yes, the office of public defender is still appointed for him.
Okay. You have a seat.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, I have Jerry Smith. Mr. Smith, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So you were arrested on two different cases for failing to appear with bench warrants being issued. On each of those cases, bond was set at $5,000, so it's going to remain set at $5,000 on each case. You can take that up with the division judge assigned to your case, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
thank you.
Next is Roop Sukram.
Your Honor, if appointed, there's a PC argument.
Okay. Mr. Sukram, do you want the public defender, or do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Public defender, sir.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and I'll hear any argument with probable cause.
Your Honor, the affidavit, based on the four corners of the document, does not support probable cause for a battery. At most, there is probable cause for maybe an assault. The allegation in the affidavit says that he grabbed her shirt. This does not meet the element of harm.
Okay. I disagree, and I do find that there is probable cause for battery. But on that charge, bond is set in the amount of $1,000 with special conditions: no return to the scene of the accident, no contact with the alleged victim. I will allow a one-time return with law enforcement to collect any belongings.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. Okay. Next, I have Zelvion Thomas. Mr. Thomas? Good morning, sir. Do you want the public defender? Do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself? Okay. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you on a provisional basis. Probable cause has already been found by the issuance of a warrant for battery. Bond on that charge is set in the amount of $1,000 with special conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene of the incident. I will allow a one-time return to retrieve any personal belongings, and you're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. And it looks like you were also out on bond in 2025 MM416, another battery charge. Was that bond or probation? Oh, sorry, you're out on bond and probation. I'm not going to take any action on that case. If probation decides to file an affidavit for violation of probation, they can do that, but I won't take any action on it right now. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. Next, I have Adrian Walker. And Mr. Walker, do you want the public defender? Do you want to represent yourself, or do you want to hire an attorney?
The public defender, Your Honor.
Okay, now I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. But you've been arrested on charges for possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause for those charges. And on possession of fentanyl, bond is set in the amount of $2,500. For drug paraphernalia, bond is set in the amount of $1,000, with special conditions that you're not to possess any illegal narcotics or prescription medication without a valid prescription.
You can have a seat.
Next, I have Rashad Whitted. Mr. Whitted, do you want the public defender's office? Do you want to represent yourself, or do you want to hire an attorney? Okay, so I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, but you were picked up on a VOP warrant. Looks like you're on probation for a charge of delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a place of worship. But on that VOP, bond has been set at $0. It will remain set at $0 and can be addressed with the division judge for your case. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. Let me organize these. Yeah. Just trying to put them in order.
Mr. PD, the rest that you have on your list are for all Spanish speaking?
That's correct. That's what I have, and one Portuguese/Spanish.
Go ahead and get our interpreter on the line. Our first up is going to be Christiane de Pino Bahia. How do I do that? All right. Can you all still hear us at the jail?
Yes, sir.
escuchar en la cárcel?
Yes,
First case. Our first case is Christiane, Christiane de Pino Bahia, DePinhoBahia. Good morning, ma'am.
Buenos días, señora.
Bom dia.
Buen día.
Bom
Good
dia.
morning.
Bom dia.
Do you want the public defender?
Como?
¿Usted quiere el defensor público?
Sim.
Yes.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Se designa el defensor público para que la represente.
Ok.
You were charged with petty theft,
Se le acusa de hurto de menor cuantía.
and the court finds probable cause.
Determina que existen indicios de criminalidad.
Bond is set in the amount of $500.
Se fija la fianza en $500.
Sim. Sim.
With special conditions that you're not to return to the target at 4795 West Earl Bronson Memorial Highway in Kissimmee.
Con la condición especial de que tiene prohibido regresar al lugar de los hechos en el Target en la Earl Bronson en Kissimmee.
Thank you, ma'am. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señora. Puede tomar asiento. Thank you. Your Honor, may the interpreter have the case number, please?
We don't have a case number for the initial appearances. We just have their names.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
Our next one is Mr. Miguel Lopez.
Senor Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, do you want the public defender's office or to hire an attorney or to represent yourself?
Señor López, ¿usted desea que se le asigne el defensor público, contratar un abogado privado o representarse a usted mismo?
Defensor público.
Public defender.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you temporarily.
Se le designa de forma temporal el defensor público para que lo asista.
You were arrested for a charge of no valid driver's license.
Usted fue arrestado por una acusación de no tener licencia para conducir válida.
The court finds probable cause
Determina que existen indicios de criminalidad.
and sets bond in the amount of $500
Se fija la fianza en $500
with special conditions that you're not to drive without a valid license.
con la condición especial que no puede conducir sin tener una licencia válida.
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señor. Se puede sentar.
Next is Francie Lopez Matia. Sir, do you want the public defender, or do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Señor, ¿quiere el defensor público? ¿Quiere contratar un abogado privado o representarse usted mismo?
Como dijo primero.
What was the first option?
Hable duro.
¿Cuál dijo primero? Que no lo entendí.
I didn't understand the first one you mentioned.
Do you want the public defender?
¿Quiere el servicio del defensor público?
El público.
Public, yes.
All right. I will provisionally appoint the public defender's office.
Se designa de forma provisional de defensor público.
But you were arrested for charges of leaving the scene of an accident with property damage,
Se le acusa de abandonar el lugar de un accidente con daño a propiedad de terceros.
driving without a valid license,
Conducir sin ser titular de una licencia válida.
and a DUI with property damage.
Y conducir bajo los efectos de sustancias con daño a propiedad de terceros.
The court finds probable cause for these charges
Determina que existen indicios de criminalidad ante estas acusaciones
and bond is set at $2,500 on count one,
Se fija la fianza en $2,500 ante la primera acusación,
$500 on count two,
$500 en la segunda
and $2,500 on count three.
y $2,500 en la tercera.
Special conditions of bond are that you're not to consume any alcohol,
Como condición especial de la fianza se le prohíbe el consumo de alcohol
and you're not to drive without a valid license.
y se le prohíbe conducir sin una licencia válida.
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señor. Se puede sentar.
Next is Mr. Paulo Maximiliano, spelled Maximiliano. And sir, do you want the public defender? Do you want to represent yourself, or do you want to hire an attorney?
Señor, ¿usted gusta del defensor público, contratar su abogado privado y representarse usted mismo?
Public defender.
Public defender.
So you were picked up on a warrant for failure to appear.
Usted fue arrestado por una orden de captura por no comparecer ante el juez.
Bond is set at $5,000
Se fijó la fianza en $5,000
and can be addressed with the division judge assigned to your case.
y eso se puede abordar con el juez de la división asignado a su caso.
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señor. Se puede sentar.
Next is Luis Medina. And sir, do you want the public defender? Do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Señor, ¿usted quiere el defensor público, contratar a un abogado privado o representarse a usted?
Defensor público.
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Se designa el defensor público para que lo atienda.
But you were arrested on a violation of probation warrant.
Usted fue arrestado por una orden de captura por incumplir con su régimen de libertad vigilada.
And you're being held no bond, which will remain.
Y se solicitó prisión preventiva, la cual se ratifica.
And it's to be addressed by the division judge.
Y esto será abordado por el juez de la división.
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señor. Se puede sentar.
Next is Jose Puig Martinez, spelled Puig-Martinez. Sir, do you want the public defender to represent you? Do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Señor, ¿usted gustaría el defensor público, contratar a un abogado privado o representarse a usted mismo?
Defensor público.
Public defender.
I'll provisionally appoint the public defender.
Se designa de manera provisional del defensor público.
You were arrested on 2 warrants for failure to appear in court.
Usted fue arrestado por 2 órdenes de captura por no comparecer en 2 ocasiones ante el tribunal.
Tipo que estaba detenido allá en Miami, no pude venir, entonces no tenía teléfono tampoco, no estaba nada conmigo.
Hold on.
Yeah, what happened that I was detained back in Miami, so I couldn't come here because I was in jail back in Miami.
Okay. So bond is set at $500 on each warrant, and that'll have to be addressed with the division judge.
Se fija la fianza en $500 ante cada acusación y eso debe ser abordado con el juez encargado de esa división.
Yo quería saber si usted me da una oportunidad a mí, porque yo estuve 7 meses aquí esperando por esa misma sanción, y entonces allá también estaba detenido por esa sanción, a ver si me puede dar tiempo servido por el tiempo que yo llevo por eso.
I would like to know if you can give me an opportunity because I made 7 months here and as well was in jail back in Miami, so I would like to know if you can give me like a time served so we can resolve this today.
Not today, I can't. That'll have to be addressed with the judge assigned to your case.
Hoy día no puedo hacerlo, eso debe ser abordado con el juez asignado a su división, señor.
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señor. Se puede asentar.
Next, we have Keyless Ruiz Cisnero, RUIZ-CISNERO. Ma'am, do you want the public defender to represent you? Do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Señora, ¿usted quiere el defensor público? ¿Desea contratar a un abogado privado o prefiere representarse a usted mismo?
Defensor público.
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Se designa el defensor público para que le represente.
But you have an out-of-county warrant.
Pero usted tiene una orden de captura por parte de otro condado.
From Polk County.
El condado de Polk.
And bond is set at $0, so it will remain at $0.
Se solicitó prisión preventiva y lo cual se ratifica.
And they'll arrange for your transport.
Y ellos se van a encargar de su transporte.
You can have a seat, ma'am.
Puede tomar asiento, señora.
Next is Yoselin, spelled Yoselin. Samayo, Samayoa-Arroyo, Arroyo. And ma'am, do you want the public defender? Do you want to represent yourself, or do you want to hire an attorney?
Señor, ¿usted desea el defensor público, contratar a un abogado privado o representarse usted mismo?
Defensor público.
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Se designa el defensor público para que la represente.
You were arrested on a charge for driving without a valid license.
Usted fue arrestada por conducir sin una licencia válida.
The court finds probable cause for the charge.
Determina que existen indicios de criminalidad para soportar la acusación.
And sets bond at $500
Se fija la fianza en $500
with special conditions that you're not to drive without a valid license.
como condición especial que se le prohíbe conducir sin tener la licencia válida.
Thank you, ma'am. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señora. Puede tomar asiento.
Yeah. Next, we have Giovanni, spelled Geovannie, Maldonado, Maldonado, -Robles, Robles. And for our interpreter, I do have case numbers for him. They are case numbers 25CF1265, 25CF1266, 25CF1267, and 25CF1268.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Maldonado Robles, do you want the public defender to represent you? Do you want to hire an attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Señor Maldonado Robles, ¿usted desea el defensor público, desea contratar abogado privado o desea representarse a usted mismo?
Defensor público.
Public defender.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Se designa el defensor público para que lo represente.
But on each of these cases, probable cause was found by the issuance of a warrant.
Pero se determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad para sustentar el orden de arresto.
Charges in each case include trafficking in fentanyl,
Los casos que se le imputan son tráfico de fentanilo,
manufacturing or delivering drug paraphernalia,
entrega y distribución de aminículos de drogas,
keeping a structure as a public nuisance for drug activity,
Sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat that?
maintaining a structure as a public nuisance for drug activity,
Thank you, Your Honor. Y mantener una estructura con el propósito de crear y distribuir droga
and the unlawful use of a two-way communication device.
y uso ilícito de un dispositivo de comunicación bidireccional.
In each case on the trafficking and fentanyl charges,
En cada acusación de tráfico de fentanilo,
does the state intend to file for pretrial detention?
la Fiscalía
Yes.
está solicitando prisión preventiva.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría.
The state will have 72 hours to file the motion for pretrial detention.
Fiscalía tiene 72 horas para presentar el pedimento de la prisión preventiva.
These cases will be set at 8:15 on Tuesday, April the 29th, in front of myself.
Este caso será fijado a las 8:15 en abril 9 ante mí.
On each case for the remaining charges,
En cada caso de los casos subsiguientes,
bond is set in the amount of $2,500
se fija la fianza en $2,500 para cada acusación.
with special conditions that you're not to possess or consume any illegal narcotics,
Como condición especial se le prohíbe la tenencia y consumo de cualquier sustancia regulada.
and you're not to have any contact with any known drug dealers.
No tener ningún tipo de trato de comunicación con distribuidores de drogas conocidos.
Thank you, sir. You can have a seat.
Gracias, señor. Se puede sentar.
¿Puedo preguntar cuántos delitos son en total?
Can I add how many charges are in total?
You have 16 charges in total.
Tiene 16 cargos en total.
Okay.
Ok.
You can have a seat. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Puede tomar asiento. Nos vemos el martes.
Are gonna get TTD here?
On count one, they're all, so all those are been. Yeah, those are 2,500. They're just on the trafficking cases or trafficking.
Your Honor, we're all clear. Everyone's been spoken to here.
All right. Thank you all very much for your time. I appreciate it. I'll go ahead and disconnect.
Thank you.
And Mr. Interpreter, I'll go ahead and disconnect as well. Thank you for your help. Have a good one.
You as well, Your Honor. Oh, are we gonna take care of BRC today as well?
Yeah, we're going to pick those up at probably about 1:30.